everyone. This is Jaylene with your monthly update for September of 2025. Well, we find ourselves at a very interesting time. We are at a crossroads, if you will, of a moment in time that I think our galactic relatives, our star families have been waiting for a long time. We as humanity are getting closer and closer to embodying our fourth dimensional reality, embodying our fourth dimensional awareness through our DNA, through our conscious evolution. And as that happens, it allows them a much easier access to communicate with us. And so this month, right now, in the past couple of weeks, I've been feeling their presence quite a bit. Lots and lots of sixth dimensional beings have been coming into sessions that I've been doing and connecting with clients and reminding them of their heritage. And so for each of us right now, we have this opportunity to reconnect with our heritage in this way. We have this opportunity to reconnect with our own Akashic field and remember who we've been and be reminded by these beautiful beings that are around us and that have been waiting in the wings for so long to reconnect with us. And it is a time of reunion. And so that was the theme of this month, really, was Galactic Reunion. And it's an exciting time because of that. But there's a lot of chaos going on in the world right now. And they did caution not to get too distracted or caught up in that chaos right now, because it will distract you from your center. It will distract you from what they said would be the best way to connect with them, is through an amplification of your heart field. So literally dropping in meditation. I talk about this a lot, connecting to divine unified field of consciousness, connecting to earth, and then connecting to your heart and expanding it open. And they added to that expansion that if you visualize your heart expanding out into your body, beyond your body, into the room, into your home, out into your whole town, expanding out further into your whole country, all the way around the earth, and then expanding out into the galaxy, and then expanding out into the universe. So the limitless quality of the field that emanates from the heart, the Arcturians call it the heart oscillating field. And when we focus on radiating the strength and the vibration from that heart oscillating field, it opens that door for our communication with our star families. And so they really talk about spending time each day doing this so that we can reunion with them, so that we can remember those connections, thus remembering who we truly are. We all come from some origin in the galaxy somewhere, or galaxies beyond. We've all had lifetimes here and in many other places. And now is a time of remembering. Now is a time of becoming through that memory. And that's the exciting part. Again, there is a lot of chaos going on in the field. And they said that while we as humans have a tendency to think that if we're focused on the plight of others, that we can have some positive impact. And while it is beneficial to send energy or perhaps volunteer your time, if you can, in productive ways towards different causes, it can also be a bit of a whirlwind that you can get stuck in, and taking you away from what you can do to truly amplify your heart field right now. And that is connect to different activities and people and events where you connect to your joy. Because when you connect to your joy, you amplify that frequency from your heart. And when you do that, you're actually impacting the collective energy of this planet quite a bit. The reason that, again, that they emphasize doing this right now is because the more people do this in mass, the easier it will be for them to meet us in the middle. they're waiting for us in the fourth dimension because that's a frequency that is easier for them to move into. The fourth dimension has always felt like a way station to me. It's a place that we go to when we're having an out of body experience or when we're dreaming. And so it's also a place where we can meet other beings, which is why we end up meeting a lot of loved ones in spirit in the fourth dimension, which is where we go when we're sleeping and dreaming. Um, it's why we might have an experience that feels like a dream, but and also feels very real, like if we're having a lucid dream, or if we're having, again, like an out of body experience where, or if we are having an actual waking conscious moment, but we're in the presence of um, a higher dimensional being, such as an extraterrestrial or somebody from the other side, a loved one in spirit. When we have those experiences, it helps to elevate our frequency up to the fourth dimension, and they're able to come down into that space, and we meet in the middle. So this is a wonderful place where we can remember many of our gifts and feel what it feels like to be a little less physical and a little more of the actual energy beings that we are. The physicality that we inhabit while we're here is illusory because everything is made up of atoms, and atoms, of course, are something like 99.9% dark matter. And so that's the liminal space that we all go into when we are dreaming, when we're having out of body experience, the liminal space where we go into deep consciousness when we are in deep meditation. And that's the same liminal space where we are able to direct our healing, where we're able to interact with our higher intelligence, with our, you could say, our health intelligence of the body, that the energy that directs our DNA and the way that our DNA codes and expresses itself, it is in that liminal space. It's in the space between the electrons and the protons and the neutrons. So that's where we go when we are in these contact experiences and these connections. And it's also where we go when we, as healers, are working with each other. It's also where we go when we're in deep consciousness and when we're in meditation. And we touch upon that place where we don't feel so attached to the physical being. And this is all important for us right now because we are coming into this era, as I've been talking about, of you could say personal responsibility for our reality. We understand, and more as we increase in frequency and vibration, that we are the architects of our reality. And as we take ownership over that understanding and over that knowing, then we need to really think about how we are thinking about things, how we are speaking, the words that we choose to use. The throat chakra is meant to be this beautiful expression of our heart field, and it brings creation into form through vibration, through voice. And our words have tremendous impact. So when we speak negatively or poorly about something, we are sending that ripple, that wave out into our environment. And if you are speaking poorly about yourself, your cells, your DNA are listening and they're taking notes. They are changing their frequency and changing through that liminal space the expression of your health and well-being through those words you're using. So we want to be really mindful of the way that we're speaking about ourselves, and remember that when we are in an environment where there's lots of things going on, lots of chaos, lots of unraveling before the reemergence of something new comes about, that if we allow ourselves to get caught up in all of that chaos, then we are going to embody chaos within our own field, whether it's through our relationships or through our livelihood or through our health. So it's a time to be really focused on connecting to the heart and dropping into our gratitude and remembering that we are the architects of our health and the architects of our reality. and that we have a tremendous impact through our voice, through our thoughts, and through our actions, how our life turns out. And so this month is really about, again, stepping into that role of taking that personal responsibility for becoming and remembering. I should say it's really more remembering that you are the architect of your reality, and how that touches in every aspect of our life, and especially with our health. There's so many different things arising in the planet right now, because as she continues to go through her ascension, it does stir up the microbes, it stirs up all the bacteria, it stirs up all the viruses, they become very active. And remember that viral sequences are part of our genomes, and that's how mammalian animals, I should say mammals, sorry, that's how mammals evolved, is that in our environment, we had to become symbiotic with different viruses and bacteria in order to survive. So the more integration we have with our own genome, with parts of our environment, the better chances our survival was going to be. So we have a lot of viral sequences in our DNA, and it's probably largely in the non-coding regions that we have a lot of these intercalated viral sequences. And that's why I believe that so often we have viruses becoming activated in our body just because of the energy around us. And then energy around us can trigger our nervous system, and viruses in particular have a very sort of metallic nature to them. So when the energy shifts, there's a lot of electricity moving through the body, whether it be through a strong emotional reaction or just because the energy field is really charged, then I notice that the viruses pick up. They get excited. They're not trained to kill you. They just vibrationally get excited and they become active. And when they become active, our immune system can become overwhelmed, or our immune system that has become perpetuated in a stress environment and has been, you could say, sidelined for keeping the body safe, and keeping other systems of the body really targeted and on, like the nervous system, then the immune system isn't as, you could say, trained or capable of combating a present virus. It can also overwhelm the immune system by the immune system becoming overactive when the thymus is out of balance, because the thymus regulates self versus other, and the energy of self versus other. And we're going through a lot of that right now as we are moving out of a dualistic reality, and we're moving into one unity, connection, community, and a return to the wholeness that we know ourselves as, that typically we would only experience when we transition and we're on the other side. But that's all going to become part of our reality as we continue to move up the frequency bands towards the fourth dimension. We are going to remember our wholeness and that we're part of the oneness. And as that happens, that self versus other meter in the body starts to calm down, and we start to become a lot more even in our immunological responses. So as a result, we will be a lot healthier in the future. But right now, we're still operating of a system that needs to understand if a cell is meant to be in the body, or if it is something that the immune system has to respond to. So because of that very sensitive self versus other mechanism in the body through the immune system, and triggered by our nervous system, we have a tendency to react very strongly to things in the environment. So there's a lot of different things going on right now. There's a lot of different ways that our bodies are trying to acclimate to these higher frequencies. And so health should definitely be a continued focus of yours in maintaining your calm state, maintaining your centeredness and your connection to your heart, your connection to earth, your connection to the unified field. Those are really important right now in maintaining your overall health as we go through these big energy transitions, and when we get big pushes of a lot of galactic light coming in, that's when things get active. So you want to make sure you're taking extra special care of yourself. A lot of self-care right now is very beneficial. Make sure you don't overdo it energetically. Even if you're exercising or everything. I mean, anyone who knows me knows I'm a big fan of exercise because I love it so much, and I love being outside and being super active. But even I've had to take my foot off the gas a little bit and just kind of keep things a little calmer right now, because I can recognize that my body um, keeps responding to me. If I overdo it a little bit with the exercise, then I'll notice my cough comes back, kind of like today. I might have overdone it today, and I notice that my cough comes back. So I just keep getting that reminder. Self-care is very important. Taking the time to rest, taking the time to take a bath, or just do, if you're going to exercise, do a slower walk versus a fast run or something super active. Just treat your body like a temple, because your body's going through a lot of changes right now. A lot of acclimation is happening right now as we get used to these new energies. So treat the body like a temple, eat well. Definitely, if you do like to have a drink every now and again, really keep that at a minimum right now. This is kind of a little bit of a risky time to bring substances in the body, because the body is uh, fighting already just to stay healthy with all the stuff hitting the immune system and the nervous system right now. So you don't want to give it too many challenges. You want to make it as easy as possible for the body. So keep yourself energetically clean. Epsom salt baths are really good. Spending time outside, just being calm. Obviously connecting to the heart. If you live anywhere near the ocean is a great resource for cleansing the energy field and bringing you back into a nice balance. But if you don't live around the ocean, you live near any other kind of water, water is a really beautiful way of helping us transition into that fourth density reality, because water holds so much memory and so much light. And water is always been a gateway for us to travel into other dimensions. I know that when I'm in water, it's very easy for me to meditate and get a lot of downloads. So a lot of times I'll sit in water to get whatever monthly message I want to share with you guys. And it always comes in right away when I'm in the water. So it's a medium for information to travel through. And so utilize that right now and drop into water, connect with it, and allow it to fill you with your memory. Really, what's happening right now is our memories are being reignited, and all the galactic beings that are around us and waiting in the wings are so excited that we are evolving to this point where they can really start communicating with us. We are getting closer to governmental disclosure of their involvement with ETs, but really what the Galactics tell me, what is even more important, is our personal relationships with them based on our own lineage. So with that in mind, the more we connect to them on an individual basis, the more we understand ourselves from that viewpoint of our own galactic heritage and history, then the more we understand why these beings might be around us, why they are family members, what our history with them is. And it's very interesting for us to remember these things, because it gives us a lot of information about who we've been and why we're here, what our purpose is, and perhaps even where we're heading next. In a lot of client sessions lately, there's been a future self of the client coming in to remind them of who they will become and why that's important to understand, and the pivotal role this lifetime on Earth right now is playing, because this is a very critical juncture for Earth, for humanity, and everyone who came here and who is aware of what's going on came here for a very specific reason, and it is to go through this transition and impact it in their own unique way. there's so many different ways that we each impact this transition, whether you are speaking to others about what's happening, or whether you're just holding space for the collective, or whether you're doing a lot of heart-centered work, whether you've shifted your whole focus of your career on expansion activities and doing things that uplift others. And it doesn't have to be something in the metaphysical world. It really can be in the sort of the average 3D world, but the way that you're doing it is in an evolved way, and you're helping to other people to connect into that part of themselves that helps them have a conscious awakening or awareness that they might not have had otherwise. We each came to impact the collective evolution at this time in our own way. And seeing that has been a beautiful experience for me. And it's more and more becoming apparent just how unique everyone's journey is, but how impactful each journey is. So keep the faith if you are getting bogged down or a little overwhelmed by all the things going on in the collective right now, and all the chaos. The chaos is part of this journey. There's a lot of different reasons for the chaos, from the perspective of some beings wanting to keep things the same. Yes, of course, that is an aspect, but really what's happening is that we are accelerating through these frequency bands of the earth along with her at such a rate. If you've been tuned in and you've been doing your clearing work and you've been on this path, you are on that process. There's really nothing that can stop you. We're already past the point where something could happen that would discontinue our evolution at this point in the way that we're doing it right now on Earth. If you're tracking along with Earth, that I know so many of you are, or probably all of you that are listening to this video, then you got nothing to worry about. You just got to keep doing your thing and connecting to the things that bring you joy, and just enjoying them, creating community, connecting with others, laughter, joyfulness, having fun. Just try to bring a lot of that into your life as much as possible, and allow that energy that you generate through those joyful connections and activities to really be the amplification of the field that really helps so many. And continue to send good energy towards the causes that you really care about, but don't allow them to eclipse your personal experience of joy and connection, because they keep coming back to that with me, that is the most important thing for each of us to focus on. Create your own garden of joy and tend that garden as if it was the most important thing for you to be doing right now. That is how you're going to be the architect of your reality. That is how you're going to really take an active role in the way your life turns out, the way things show up for you, and the path that we're laying in front of us right now, because we are creating that runway right now for what's to come in the next several months. And we talked about that last month, about sowing the seeds, because we are in the great becoming right now. And the sods that you are seeing right now are seeding, are being nurtured by your energy, by your spirit, by your joy, by your connections. And every time you drop into your heart, it's like watering your garden. And every time you water your garden, your seeds are going to grow. And so that's really the message they wanted me to give you today. And I hope that is helpful for you. And I wanted to let everyone know, if you haven't heard already, that I am beginning to teach a revised edition of my DNA class. I taught this in 2022, and the guides have been pretty adamant lately that they would like me to teach a revised edition of this. So it will have some of the content from before, but a lot of new content, because we're meeting for 4 different live Zoom meetings. And in those, I'll be doing live channeling of new information about the DNA. And it really goes along with us learning how to step into that liminal space and interact with our DNA so that we can optimize our health, optimize our journey into the 4th dimension, and really optimize our longevity And we want to stay as healthy and fit and active through our final time here, through our whole, you could say, through our whole journey on earth. We want to enjoy it as much as possible, and we want to do everything that we had set out and come to do while we're here. So that'll be really understood and helped along by learning how to interact with your DNA and learning how to step into that liminal space. In doing so, becoming that very active role member in how your health and well-being turns out. And that is the foundation and the grounding for really everything else in our life. When we have our health and we have our well-being, then it's easy to connect to joy. It's easy to connect to the heart. It's easy to be the productive person that we wanted to be while we're here. It all starts with our health. So we're going to focus on that. I think it's very timely for what's going on in the field right now. And I really look forward to working with many of you again. I did an interview, a quantum conversation with Loren Gailey. So you can access the course there with a special offer, or you can also find it on my website at jaylenetracy.com. And I'm always happy to talk to any of you about the details of that if you want more information, but there's plenty of information on the website as well. All right, that's it for now. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can always reach me at my website or at my email address at info@jaylenetracy.com. All right, best to all of you for this September, and I'll be back in touch soon.